Hey friends, Rob here. Today we're talking about the Instax Mini EVO. And no, that's not your eyes fooling you. It really is blue in the background. I've got a blue light back there. And speaking of light, people often ask, what type of light do you use with the Instax Mini EVO? Well, I use this one that you can see back here, lighting things up and making it look nice. This is the small rig P96. You can get it for 20 bucks and it just fits right on the top. In fact, it's even got a built-in hot shoe or cold shoe mount with additional cold shoe mounts on the side, and it is multiple colors, so you can change the intensity just as well as you can change the color. I don't know if you can see my hands changing color there. In any event, let's talk about the Fujifilm Instax Mini EVO as I share with you a little time capsule of all the photos I've taken with it. Get you guys a little bit closer, hitting that play button. And I gotta tell you, the Mini EVO has lived up to something I really didn't expect, and that's being a time capsule. As we go backwards, I've got to tell you, looking through these, it really did deliver on the promise of being able to archive a lifetime of memories. Now, that's a big statement, but after 2 years, the images still look great, the battery lasts, and I can print any of these great shots. I've had so much fun using this camera over these past couple of years. I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. It has really surpassed my expectations. A couple of the things that are still important to note is that it's not very good for an archival camera if you wish to print and enlarge. That's not what this camera is all about. It's for fun in the moment and memories that you can look back on after it's been stashed in the drawer for 6 months. I've used this camera all over the place, to include collaborations with channels like Adventure Charm. That's a show that we're shooting in here in Virginia Beach. Season 2 is coming out next year. That's Gina. Fans absolutely love it. We can film on location in an area like at Fisherman's Wharf or over at Mount Trashmore or down in Sandbridge, and then take pictures with the fan. Gina can sign them and the fans can have them. We've got multiple shots. It's a lot of fun. And when you think about a camera like that, think about the documentary style of a production. Think about what happens when you start creating moments that you aren't so worried about having this picture-perfect quality of editing, that just have a natural, organic look to them through the analog process of the development of the chemical paste, which is Instax film, even though it's been taken on a digital sensor. It really takes away so much of the hassle of edit, post, and just turns into point and shoot. It makes it all kinds of fun. But as much as that is a benefit, something I absolutely enjoy, you gotta know that sensor is pretty small. And Fujifilm could have updated it, but they didn't. Now I know they couldn't have given us a new sensor in this particular camera, but what they could have done is updated the firmware to give us a better file size. I recognize most of you that are using this, you're not photographers, so maybe you don't understand how important that file size is, especially on a smaller sensor camera. Especially one that's very old or has a very old sensor. Sensor's over a decade old. A larger file size would give us more options for upscaling and upresing the image, getting rid of noise that might be in the image, adding detail, all things we could do in post-production that would allow you to use these images in an 8x10, 8x12 format. Not so right now. In fact, for me, I got to tell you, anything over 3x5, maybe 4x6, it's just too big. Doesn't really look that great, even 4x6. 5x7 is really starting to show it. 8x10, no go. I don't even print them. Now, that being said, what I do like about this camera are some of the film effects. Those gimmicky film effects and film simulations and lens effects. Well, they're not as gimmicky as they sound. Over 100 combinations, 10 on the lens, 10 for film, give you 100 combinations to do something with, and it has been an absolute blast playing with them. However, after 2 years of use, I've really narrowed it down to just a couple. And the one I didn't expect to like that I absolutely love is actually the half frame. I really like it. You'll notice several of them are popping up right now. The half frame is such an exciting kind of image to take. 2 shots, 1 piece of film, and you can do digital twins or pairs like that. It's just awesome. Another thing I like, you notice I like the monochrome, I like the vignette. I also enjoy the light leak, and I guess it's that red and blue color shift. I like that one a lot too. I played around with mirror a little bit. I don't so much like the canvas one. And double exposure is kind of fun from time to time too. When I look through these, I think about the way that I print them. Most of the time I'm printing using the vivid function, as well as sometimes I'll brighten the image with the brighten 1.5 Although that's doing it digitally to the file after the fact, and remember guys, it's a small file, we'd rather do it beforehand. Look at these monochrome shots coming up right here. I think most of these made it as profile pictures at some point in time on my Facebook. They were absolutely awesome, and it came from this camera. It's quite a bit of fun. The nice part about this is, recognize these photos are on here digitally, so I can print them later. You don't even have to print them right away. It's just so much fun and exciting to use this camera out and about. Another thing that I absolutely love about the camera is the film eject lever. It just is cool. It's neat. And there's an analog quality to this digital paste, this digital film, that you wouldn't expect. Even when zooming in on the images to print later, to crop or rotate, you don't really see any of the pixels because although the camera is made up of a bunch of pixels, there aren't actually any pixels on the paper because the paper is an analog process. It's a film chemical paste process for development. So it's quite a bit of fun, and I like it a lot. You'll see as we're going through here, sometimes it takes a minute for it to go, but I've used this professionally. I've used it on weddings. And the most important and most fun thing I can do is when I give someone like a new bride or a new fiance pictures from what we just did. It's just so much fun and so exciting. Looking back here after the years, seeing my sons grow up through the lens of this Fujifilm Instax Mini EVO, I realize that it's grown on my heart so much more than what I had expected originally. It's been a lot more fun than I ever thought it would be, and all of the drawbacks, although they remain true, really haven't gotten in the way of the experience. I really have grown to love this camera so much more than when it came out. Now, for version 2, what could Fujifilm do? Well, they've got to give us a better flash. Number 1, so many people email me asking how come my photos are blurry and grainy. They have dots all over them. And the only reason that that would happen is because of light, make grain, and because of low light, long shutter, make blurry. Fujifilm could have given us a xenon flash, the same kind of flash that they use in all of their other analog Instax cameras, but they didn't. They chose to give us an LED flash. That was a complete miss, and it has to be updated on the next one. Another thing they need to do, they need to update the file system. Look how long it takes me to go through all of these. There's not enough memory in this for it to scroll quickly. Although it's fun to show you here, there are hundreds of these, thousands of these photos, and it's taken forever to get through it. So we need to have more RAM so that it can load the images faster, so that you can scroll more quickly. And yes, I'm aware that there's a function where you can look at 4 or 9 images at a time on a screen, but guess what, guys? That just makes it take longer. So this is the quickest way to scroll through all the images. The next thing is they have to give it a better sensor this time. We need something that's more archival for us. And I'm not asking that because I want to be pedantic. I'm asking for it for you. Those of you that don't know that you need a better sensor because you're not a photographer or you don't do a lot of printing, don't realize the value of having a better sensor. It would mean that the photos that I took of my 96-year-old grandmother could be used as printable archival prints later, rather than just moments that I'll print off as maybe an Instax print sometime. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to blow these up like you would from your cell phone? Well, you can't do that here without running into quite a bit of noise. Most fun feature overall of using this camera has simply been the smiles it puts on other people's faces the minute I take it out and pull that lever. Once the film ejects from this camera, people lighten up, they open up, their face starts to smile, and we have a wonderful time. And because of that selfie mirror on the front, I've been able to get great shots of my best friends and family, and even complete strangers that are just out and about having a good time with me when they see me photographing. It's been a memorable experience. And if you're on the fence about getting one, go out and get one already. It's excellent. Guys, if you have enjoyed this, please use my Amazon links down below. Like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends and family. I want to thank you so much for watching. I'll remind you, keep it cool out there, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now.